question, Coach, comes from Chad Leistico.
I'm on mute. Sorry about that. I'm rusty here. How you doing, man?
Good.
Just kind of curious how a matchup like Duke comes about. Is that something you sought out? Did the TV network seek you? Kind of walk us through, if you can, kind of how this matriculated, please.
Yeah, I just remember somebody reached out to Kirk Spiro. I don't know who it was, and he just came in and said, "Hey, would you have interest in the Jimmy V playing Duke? I think Illinois is going to play Texas." And ironically, we had one game left to schedule, so we had to look at the dates and could we do it? You know, obviously we looked at the fact that we had to play Iowa State on Thursday. It was going to be a Tuesday night game. Would we do it? Should we do it? And you know, I just felt pretty strongly that it was a great opportunity to play in Madison Square Garden, to play a team like Duke, to play in an event like that, you know, for our program, you know, for our players, to help us get ready for the Big Ten schedule. You know, it would have been easy to say no, we'll play somebody else that we you know, felt pretty strongly we would beat and stay rested, you know, for the Iowa State game. But, you know, opportunities like this, I think you have to take advantage of. I think the guys are capable of playing, you know, we just played back to back and obviously didn't play well in the second game, but I mean, I didn't think it was our energy as much. So we're excited for the opportunity. And it was just a simple phone call and we jumped on it.
Tom Kickert.
Hey, Fran, wanted to ask you, this is, you know, it's part of the Jimmy V Foundation and everything, and you are so active in cancer research and supporting those causes. How special is it to be a part of the event, given your involvement?
Well, very important, Tom. We got real close with Dick and have been to his gala a number of times. Dick has run a number of events, as you know, in our state. Probably done 5 of those. He was so incredible when Patrick was sick and Austin Schrader was sick. I've told the story many times. You know, I reached out to him, and he called Austin and he spoke to Craig and most recently when we went to the gala 2 years ago, the Schraders went with us along with the Schaefers, who lost their son Tate, you know, from Williamsburg. We went down there and they named a grant in Austin's name. Craig and Stacy spoke at the gala. You know, Dick is just an amazing person. I mean, where he took this from the day of one of the most incredible speeches that we've ever heard, when Jim Valvano made it before he passed, and Dick said he was going to commit himself to it. You know, it's 365 days a year with Lorraine, his wife. You know, he's able to raise 11 million in one night. Nobody else can do that. His ability to engage people in this cause is unprecedented. And we've been honored to be able to get in the fight with him. And I remember we took Patrick and Austin to the event. It was down at Riverside, and it was a great night there. And Dick was so awesome with both the kids. They were like 14 years old at the time, and had an unbelievable talk with him this morning. And of course, he has had most recently his fight with cancer, and it's just so great to see him back on the sideline doing games. He's fired up about Tuesday night, and I'm looking forward to seeing him.
Chris Warner.
Coach, as a Philly guy yourself, do you have any special memories of Madison Square Garden? And then also, do you think your team's experience might help them not get overwhelmed by the situation that you guys might face with Duke and Madison Square Garden?
Well, first of all, it's funny because I get asked this all the time. If you grow up in Philadelphia, Madison Square Garden doesn't have any significance. Like I grew up going to the Palestra and the Spectrum. I grew up watching Dr. J and Wilt Chamberlain and Doug Collins. I wasn't watching Walt Frazier and Willis Reed. Had no interest in going to the Garden. We didn't like the Knicks. And that's just the way it is. I know it's hard for people out here to understand because New York is closer to Philadelphia than Des Moines is to Iowa City. So you would think there would be some level of affiliation or, but like I remember we talked about this before. I think it might have been Mike had asked me, when was the first time I went to Madison Square Garden? I said, well, when I was in college and we played in the Holiday Festival, we played St. John's. We weren't going there, and that's just the way it was. In regard to playing there, obviously I have tremendous respect for the facility as a basketball person. The world's most magical arena, the most famous arena in the world. It was an honor for me to play there. I recognize that. I played there. I've coached there as a head coach. I've coached there as an assistant coach. There's definitely something special about it. Our guys, are used to playing in big arenas and on national television against great teams. So it's another great opportunity for us.
I'm not sure where Matt went, but
Mike Halas.
Hey, how are you?
What's up, Mike?
How about the Duke team? Saw the game last night, and that does not look like a typical college basketball team with its size.
Yeah, I think John did a good job. He obviously had a terrific recruiting class, but fitting in the grad transfers too kind of gives him a really good blend of youth and experience. Young guys don't play like young guys, and the veteran guys have really been helpful. Obviously we know them, Ryan Young and Jacob Grandison, both really good players in our league, and doing a grad transfer year there. But we know Filipowski well. I mean, he's a lottery pick. We recruited him hard. He visited here. So it's a talented team. They have a lot of size. They have depth. They have athleticism, and be a very difficult challenge for us, but one we're excited for.
Fran, I'll jump in. Is it going to be weird looking down there and not seeing Coach K? And what kind of a relationship do you have with John Shire? I imagine maybe you recruited him out of high school.
No, I didn't, but I knew who he was. I mean, he was a terrific player. I think we all know that. Tough, and could score. He was a gamer. I've coached against Mike, not a lot. He has, in many ways become the gold standard of our profession. Maybe he was before, but certainly that was solidified, with the Redeem team and his ability to coach internationally and bring the gold back to the United States. So his success on a number of different levels and his impact on our game has been tremendous. So great respect for Mike and for John. I know him fairly well. We sat together, watched games and talk, and he'll be great there.
I'll jump in here, Fran. You have 499 career wins. Do you have thoughts on what that means to you? I don't want to I'm guessing you're not going to be sentimental about it or anything like that, but I guess just how do you feel about having 400? At some point, you're going to get 500, I would think. What does that mean to you?
Well, I think it's just indicative of the great opportunities that I've had. I have really been blessed. I've worked for great athletic directors everywhere I've been. I've had tremendous players. I've had awesome coaches on my staff. You know, I think really the way that I'll look at it is, you know, I'll think about that, you know, some of the great times and some of the struggles, you know, coaching the JV team at the University of Pennsylvania, my first coaching job, you know, working for nothing. I was volunteering. Craig Littlepage was kind enough to invite me on the staff as a volunteer assistant. I'm coaching the JVs. I'm coaching the varsity. I'm in practice 5-6 hours a day. You know, so you pay your dues and hope that one day to have an opportunity to become a full-time coach, to become a head coach. You know, and I think of some of the great wins and some of the tough losses, some of the struggles. You know, I've had a number of guys on my staff who played for me. You know, Courtney Eldridge and Matt Gatens right now. You know, Billy Taylor. And you know, that's what this business is all about. So you're right, Chad. I won't get sentimental about it. You know, we'll be on to the next, you know, whenever that comes. And I'll just keep grinding.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, guys, my computer crashed, but got time for a couple more. Tom Kakert.
Fran, I wanted to ask you about Kyle Filipowski because you mentioned him earlier. You recruited him. He's really busted out early? Has he been what you thought he would be?
Yeah, I think I think he's what everybody thought he would be. You know, he could really, you could really play him at point guard if you wanted to. He's 7 feet tall, as he can shoot it and he makes plays off the bounce. He finds people. You know, he's been utilized well there. They post him. They give him space. They ISO him. They go to him. You know, which is not always the case. Even if you're a really good freshman, they don't necessarily go to you at crunch time. They go to him. But he has that, I think he has that innate ability to play well, you know, when the game's on the line. Always has. Really impressive talent, terrific young man. I really enjoyed getting to know him.
Okay, final question comes from Chris.
Coach, how do you think your team's experience overall might help in an atmosphere that you might be facing on Tuesday night?
Yeah, but you know, we face atmospheres like that all the time. You know what our league is like at Indiana, at Purdue, at Michigan State. You know, we played Power Fives all the time. So, you know, I don't think that situation will, it's just kind of the norm for us. But you're right. I mean, I do think having had guys that have been through it helps a great deal, have played in atmospheres like that and have had an opportunity to succeed and fail, you know, prepares you for the next opportunity and you know, in your attempt to continue to be successful.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Thanks,
Doug.
everybody.